Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about Jennifer Kretchmer's statement about why Dungeons and Dragons is so awesome. So I just was watching Jennifer Kretchmer. I find Jennifer Kretchmer really fascinating. She's one of the authors on Candlekeep Mysteries, and she's been attached to Dungeons and Dragons here and there. I think she's on the short list for. I think she was at one point on the short list for the first female design lead of Dungeons and Dragons overall. Dungeons and Dragons has never had a female design lead. I think it's on, and I thought for a while that it was on their checklist. That is not seemed to be the case, and there seems to still be a lot of confusion about what's really going to happen with Dungeons and Dragons and having a female lead. I think it's something that should happen, and I really think Dungeons and Dragons would be quite different under a female lead. I think females think in different ways I think women think in different ways than men. I do think we are equally valuable, but I think there are some really different ways that we approach life, and I would really like to see a Dungeons and Dragons under a female lead. I think that Kate Welch was really originally positioned for this, and it bounced out, and it never happened, and it should have. And I think right now Amanda Heyman is on the front line for that. But I think Jennifer Kretchmer was considered for it at one point, and then she came on Candlekeep Mysteries. And here's the issue: like a lot of people, they get upset. They hear the roar of the anti-D&D crowd, and they join in, and they get clapped. They get laurels for it. I think that's exactly what happened with Jennifer Kretchmer. Is she went anti-D&D at some point, even though she had been a D&D author, right? And it's astounding to me how many people don't understand, like, hey, stay on point, like, stay on point and do the thing, or like, and don't complain when you get in a position where you are really, do the thing and don't bite the hand that feeds you. I think there's a lot of biting the hand that feeds you, and I think at one point Jennifer Kretchmer did bite the D&D hand that fed her. And I don't think D&D forgets. Like, they want somebody who's professional and can cut out the noise and not join in on the anti-D&D hate when it arrives, right? And I don't think Jennifer Kretchmer really saw that all the way through. But Jennifer Kretchmer said something that I think was spot on in understanding Dungeons and Dragons. So one, I think Dungeons and Dragons is I think Dungeons and Dragons is the most important secular product that's ever been created. I do think it's surpassed by the sacred text of the Holy Bible. But like the Dungeons & Dragons, PHB, DMG, and MM have done more to change humanity than anything that's ever been produced by any human who was not connected to Christianity. And so what did Dungeons & Dragons do? Well, it allowed humans to interact with... what it did first was it really allowed humans to interact with... identity in a new way. Like, we now have a tool to explore identity that has never been possible in any other narrative medium. And I also think that Dungeons & Dragons changed narrative. It changed humanity's ability to tell stories that impact people personally and improve people personally in a way that no medium has ever done. Not the big screen, not the small screen, not the nothing. Like, it's unprecedented. So what did Jennifer Kretchmer say? So what she said was, so one, I forget where she was. I don't even know who was interviewing. The interview sucked. Like, the guy was like, why is D&D good and why are people responding to it? And the guy, Jennifer Kretchmer, is brilliant. But sometimes you get interviewed by a nub. And like, this dude was a nub. He was just asking her just questions I've heard asked a million times. Very, very unimaginative questions. But he said, why is D&D hitting? Why are people, like, really responding to D&D? And she said, here's the kicker. So Jennifer Kretchmer said, it is a human person responding to your decisions. And she said, she said, I get excited about this. I'm excited about this because when video game players see Dungeons & Dragons in action and see this thing rolling, it is absolutely astounding, because what happens is they are in this position where, like, they're flabbergasted because there are no walls. There are no walls. There's no and this is 100%, like, I play Fortnite, right? You go to the edge of the map, and you're stuck. You hit a wall. You hit an invisible wall, you cannot go any further. That wall does not exist in Dungeons & Dragons. There are literally no options that you can't do. You can go where you want. You can be who you want to be. You can explore any identity attribute you wish. You can be the hero, and you will make decisions, and your decisions will be prioritized. And the greatest computer that's ever been created, which is a brain made by God himself, is going to manifest your decisions into a separate reality. Right? That's the way I would say it. And this is unprecedented. This does not happen anywhere else. And Jennifer Kretchmer is right. Gary Gygax in 1974 created a platform that positioned one human person to respond to another human person and respond in real time, literally to something as small as an eyebrow raise, to every form of communication, to every decision in real time, second by second. The story can change. This has never happened anywhere and never will happen anywhere. Dungeons & Dragons is truly unique. Gary set up a situation where a human person will respond to your decisions. And guess what? The U.S. government cannot do that. They have not been able to create a situation where a human person will respond to your decisions in real time. And this is why people are so frustrated with it. And there are entire institutions and entire industries that have failed to do this, right? And Gary Gygax set up a situation where he says, the Dungeon Master is a human person who will respond to your decisions. And it changed the world forever. And Jennifer Kretchmer gave fantastic language to explain it. Dungeons & Dragons mattered because it is a platform built from 1974 to today where it puts a human person who is directed, provisioned, right, dutied to respond to your decisions. That's why Dungeons & Dragons matters. That's why it will always be the number one tool for humanity to explore identity, and why it has cracked the foundation of human narrative, and no storytelling tool even comes remotely close to its value or its impact today. Every single word of that is my opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion. Every single word is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in those comments and send your traffic, please consider subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.